Hey guys, this is a pre-recorded match. We're playing against Damaso on Dry Arabia, so to make sure. And it is a Mongol mirror. We were contemplating dropping our town center over here on the gold. We decided to drop it on the Uvu for two reasons here. Um, Mongol Tower Rush is meta. It's been meta and it's still meta. So people are still doing that. A front Uvu is easier for him to tower and burn down um, with those early spearmen. And if he burns down my Uvu, it's going to really affect our production and military tempo. If we lose this gold, the plus side is like we want him to burn this down. We can lose this gold. We can go to this front gold that we have, which is still as relatively close to our TC as this back gold. And this back gold has us the additional benefit of being in the back. So he's got to walk all the way around to get to it. You can see he has a really similar spawn. He's got a front Ubu and a back gold, and he just decides to choose pretty much just in the middle. It's kind of a weird spawn or drop here. He might have just immediately dropped and just gone with that. Again, not what I would kind of recommend. I think you pick a side here, and it does actually end up coming back to bite him really hard, because if he had picked gold here, we have actually a really mirrored spawn here. If he gets the gold here, he secures this gold, but he ends up securing this gold anyways. But if he protected his Uvu and his military production buildings, this definitely would change the dynamics of this one match significantly, as you guys will see later on. Um, it turns out to be a pretty really big mistake here not being able to defend this. So if we look at our vision here, we're just scouting our side of the map. We're just picking up sheep, and we haven't looked at his side yet. If we switch players and look at his side, he's also just scouted his side of the map, and he hasn't scouted us yet, and he's dropping his barracks. Is going to send villagers over, so his scouting, I feel, is like a little bit late here, and maybe a little bit too north to be finding our base. Behind this, we're almost ready for age up. You can see he's doing his. He's got an A3 sprit on wood, and he's not even looking for age up timing yet. So yeah, it's definitely a different type of a build with the tower rush. Excuse me. So we're looking to age up now, and if you look at our vision, we haven't spotted anything weird yet. We know that we're getting close to that 3-minute timing where the spearmen are going to be hitting about 3:30, 3:20ish. So we're going to go out and see if we can intercept anybody coming along the front here. He has just spotted our gold. If we switch vision, so he just finally spotted our gold. And as we run up here, we run into his spearmen. So this lets us know immediately that we've got a tower rush incoming. We're dropping for our silver tree now. And a little bit late here because of the far gold spawn, and we did have to garrison our village trying to snipe the con, which didn't work out. And we're just going to keep scouting. There's not much we can do about those spearmen. It's in the back, so we're not super worried about it. We're just going to collect gold as we can. We have in our build villagers going onto wood, and I really messed up my build order here as well because I stopped collecting wood, and I ended up putting one more villager on wood. Here, I see that the tower coming up, so I'm going to try to shank. I know I have some time until the spearmen show up, so we wanted to kind of push and see if we had enough time to do this, but the spearmen have shown up, so just get a couple more swings and we're going to back out. There's no way we can stay and contest this with villagers. We were sending him up here directly to do this. We do decide to cancel that because we don't want him to key in on us going for that other gold, and it looks like he hadn't. Luckily, he didn't notice that we were going with the building there. And she's looking for age up now. Behind this is going on gold. And we're just going to move our Gur here. He doesn't have enough guys here to actually trap us and get this burn down. And yeah, so not really a lot of damage here. And he's committed to this outpost, which is good for us. It means 100 wood that he's kind of invested into this, besides his army, besides his barracks and everything. And now he's committed to it completely. So he's got to finish that one, and we're going to build a outpost out here. It kind of changes our build order a little bit, and you can see that our build order is kind of messed up. We got all the way up to 5 on wood, and now we're rotating villages onto gold, so they definitely kind of switched up our build order, but I kind of changed it on the fly here, and I didn't intentionally try to go to 5. I wanted to go into maybe 4, and you see we're gathering more villagers onto wood now. It's just so I can afford the infrastructure that I'm going to need. We're just kind of harassing his gold over here, and we haven't killed a villager, but we just had made a villager fall back off of gold, which is nice, and he's tapping up a silver tree too. So we both have kind of the same idea here going for trade. Both of our trade market, neutral markets are kind of in middle spots, so they're going to have to be contested for, and we're going to go with a curl tie or an archery range for our counter aggression. He's got spearmen out, so you could go with archers if you were playing normally, or in my playstyle we're going to go for Mangudai and get some really as much pressure as we can, and they're really good for accompanying our Keshiks. So behind this, we're rallying a whole bunch of villagers onto food now. We had a bunch of villagers on wood, and we're going to transition. We're getting another military building out. And you can see we're a little bit ahead of our opponent because of this. Besides just being generally a little bit ahead in terms of eco. And we are dropping a tower here just in case he wanted to drop some sort of sneaky tower or on our woodline or anything. I just wanted to have it to get some vision here. This might not have been the best use of this 100 wood. I feel like I could have also dropped this tower instead over here on the markets in retrospect. So this tower was actually turns out to be kind of a waste, and it's basically kind of like this tower here. That he's got a spearman garrisoned in, and it's not doing a lot, and this tower is not doing a lot here. It's providing a little bit of protection, but honestly, if it was on the market, it would have been much better. We are trying to find the market, which we just do, and now we're going to rally our trader onto this market as well as our silvertree onto this market. Behind this, we had started pushing with our Mangudai, and we catch him at a really good point because we're able to deny his stables pop up, and he's getting his spearman upgrade, and he sees that we got archers now, so the last thing he wants is to commit to more spearmen, and he has to truly get this get this stable up. And it's so close to being done. He decides to commit villagers to do it, which again, really risky move, really dangerous move, and costly. It's definitely a costly move. And we have more Mangudai coming out again. Our Mangudai timing is a little bit messed up because of our opponent's play, and in part because of the way that we kind of changed our macro here. And he commits 2 villages to this, and we're going to try to snipe a villager here to slow it down, but we don't do a great job. Villager survives with 4 health, so we aren't able to do it there. Even killing 1 would have been a nice little extra. Not able to get it, but we know that he's going to go double Keshiks. We didn't actually check the queue, which is kind of a given in this scenario. And he's got spearmen out and about, so we're just going to harass and do what we can. But behind this, we also have our own Keshiks on the way. They're not double production because we've spent on the Mangudai, but they are going to be on the way, which is going to really help. Especially 1 Keshik with 6 Mangudai supporting it are going to be 2 Keshiks all day. Keshiks, they're knights, so they soak up this damage really well. Not the best in feudal, but they do soak it up. But you can see in that small exchange now we've almost fused down to like basically 1.5 Keshiks, and we've got 1 Keshik out. So you can see where the Mangudai mass is really going to come into play. We drop another tower here forward, just for vision, for speeding up our units as well, and to kind of secure these deer in a nearby future. He's going to go for a counter raid, which is a good move to go stop our trade, which is only worth 12 at this time, so it's not really strong trade. And he is trading to the south. He's getting 36 on this, so he's getting a much bigger trade here than us. So we're going to lose these traders. Again, it sucks losing these traders, but I'd rather gain map position, and we try to hit the back on his gold here. We do lose a couple of Mangudai, a little bit unfortunate here. But we do idle his gold production a little bit, which is nice. And this is 5 villagers, and you see this amount of time that's idling. Again, this is not the best play by him on his part. He's kind of like super idling here. But we do end up losing 2 Mangudai, which is a really bad deal. A little bit of a miss micro there. And if you've seen our vision, now we can see his traders are all going to the south. It's a pretty big deal that he's making. He's got that many traders going on, so we gotta do our best here to shut these down before these guys hit there. That's 100 gold in the bank for him if this connect. A little bit of miss micro there again, and he's kind of just macroing up his army in front of his base, resecuring his reason. And this is kind of where that middle of the ground TC, not securing one TC or the other, or one resource or the other, can kind of affect you. He was able to get that turn off, which kind of hurts because his gold was still idle here on this outpost. So little mistake by, a really big mistake by our opponent here, but it's something that definitely adds up. Let's see this. Over here, we're trying to find. We do see his army here. So we're gonna try to bait this army in, and we have an army behind this. We got 3 Keshiks and 2 Mangudai. So we just have to peel back away from here and try to get him to bite into this fight. We do lose 1 Mangudai, unfortunately, but again, we got more troops here, and we're trying to get him to commit here. Again, we're happy to. We didn't want to lose this villager, but we're happy to trade a couple of traders for this. It sucks, but it's worth the getting the military. Behind this, we did transition 5 villagers onto gold, and we are macking a lot of villagers onto sheep. Luckily, we haven't run out of sheep yet. We also don't have any eco upgrades, and neither does he. And you could kind of tell that he was kind of like really all in here, in some sense of the way that he was producing traders and everything, and so were we. So both just super all in. But we do have one big plus here is because we have the blacksmith out, and this is really important for a big Mangudai mass like this. We got 6 Mangudai, and that extra +1 damage is going to translate to an additional 6 damage per second. So it does add up quite significantly. Or 6 damage per hit. I think it's like, oh, it's almost 1 second attack speed. So yeah, a little bit under a second. So okay, so if you look at our vision again, we see him pulling a bunch of villagers, and we're just camping his production because we're trying to force him hit his army over here instead of on our trade. And again, picking off 1 villager and picking off his production here is really good. We did stop trader production at this time till we were able to secure this, and so that means his army is actually really out of position, while our army is able to get this burn down on his stables. So he's getting his horsemen out and trying to get Keshik out, and we can see him trying to do things here. We've got more units flooding in, and we see him trying to get for this, try to commit to a tower, so giving us some free resources, which is always nice. And he does have to pull back his army, and this is kind of like the whole key to this, is that we're forcing him to come back here. He's trying to pick up trade and switch off with us because he thinks we're going to commit to this, but we don't. And then he takes this fight here. Again, we could sit here and fight, but it's going to be a little bit difficult to micro the Mangudai back. I guess it's not really that difficult, but we can just sit here and kite back, and we can trade for basically nothing. So it's a super positive trade for us here. Again, more Mangudai coming, more Keshik coming. So, and now we're double producing Keshik to get a better burn down rate. And again, we lose a little bit of Mangudai here, 1 Mangudai, but again, we're taking really good map control. And now behind us, we're going to drop the tower, and we're going to start trading again. Now that we've kind of secured where his army is and kind of know where things are happening. And we just dive here, and then we find all of his villagers on gold, our really long distance chopping, and we get a really massive kill here. That's super painful to lose that many villagers at this stage of the game. And now you can tell that we're at double the eco count, and at this point the game is pretty much over. It's really hard for anyone to come back from here. And now he's trying to commit into Mangudai to fight us. Big issue is once I have a Mangudai mass of 8, you have a Mangudai mass of just 2, you can't actually fight me. You just have to constantly peel back till you get a bigger mass. We were sticking around here trying to deal with this tower, but we're going to lose a lot of Mangudai doing this, and we're just going to fall back. We got this barracks we can burn down and do some damage to, so we're not too worried about it. One thing that we do mess up is that our Uvu is depleted, and I don't realize this in time, and I decided to use my last gold on military production, or my last stone on military production, instead of this arrow slits. So again, kind of a big mistake on my part, because this tower is specifically to help stop these traders and alert me of traders. Just seeing them doesn't really do it. I mean, I see them now, but like, yeah. So at this point, his barracks is down. He's lost his stable. He's lost 2 military productions. His eco is super behind, and yeah, at this point, we're just gonna. He sees us pushing north. That's his one like kind of hope. There's a little bit of trade going on, and from there, it's just gonna be kind of a wrap up in terms of wiping him, because it's just been numbers and boom. So yeah, different, little bit different kind of a match in terms of how our opponent played, but it did show. I think it does a good job of highlighting that let's see statistics. No, I want to go see statistics. There you go. Eco. Yeah. So food count. We went really heavy on food, and that really translates to army. Wood we had more, stone we had a little bit more of, and gold we had a lot more of too. We had nearly double his. We had almost double the food and double the gold, and so that definitely helps a lot in being able to maintain those armies. So he was trying to really aggressive play with that tower rush, and maybe he's used to catching some people off guard with that. But yeah, it puts on good pressure in some sense, but it's definitely it's got some drawbacks, and I think a big thing too is your TC position off rip. You can't just pick that middle of the ground TC place. You really need to commit to either gold or uvu, and both of them are really important. Uvu, you can argue, is more important than your gold. Um, and then additionally, the big thing is which is front. Because if my gold was front there and my uvu was back, I might have actually um, gone with my TC in the front there, just to make them go all the way back to the Ubu. Just because it chews up more time for that raid, and the more time that you make them to go around the back there like that, it really helps you in terms of being able to get a better edge on them come fuel. So that's it for now, guys. Thanks for watching. Just a quick one, and yeah, hope to see you on the next one.